Shrutismritipurananam alayam karunalayam namami bhagavadpada shankaram lokashankaram sadashivasamarambham shankaracharya madhyamam asmadacharya paryantam vande guru paramparam vasudevasutam devam kamsachanuramardanam devaki paramanandam krishnam vande jagadgurum. With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we have been studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita for the last few weeks. We completed a few chapters up to chapter 3. Chapter 1 was Arjuna Ushada Yoga, Arjuna's rejection, his grief, which itself formed a suitable background for advancement in yoga, because it was founded on supreme compassion. Second chapter was on Sankhya Yoga, where a sort of summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita was given, with emphasis on Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, and the characteristics of a Jnani, a Sthita Prajna. Chapter 3 was on Karma Yoga, the details of how Karma Yoga should be practiced, etc. And this chapter, chapter 4, and the following chapter, chapter 5, are also a sort of extension of chapter 3, where further details are given of Karma Yoga leading to Jnana. This particular chapter where we are now in, chapter 4, talks about Karma Yoga leading to Jnana. Now, Bhagavan said, Janma karma cha me divyam, one who knows the purpose of my avatara, how I take the avatara, etc. He becomes entitled to moksha because he becomes one with me. Then he explained various technicalities of Karma Yoga. What is karma, what is vikarma, and what is akarma. And he established a rather tough proposition to understand. That is, one should see akarma in karma and karma in akarma. In fact, that is a kind of fundamental basis of jnana. Without that, jnana cannot be accessed. So he emphasized that, and in that context, he started explaining various details of how to proceed with this, perceiving karma in akarma, that is, action in inaction, and inaction in action. Now, he started talking about various people adopting various methods. All of them are good methods of proceeding on this path. And he was talking in shloka number 27 of Indriya karmas and prana karmas, the actions of sense organs and actions of prana. Then in shloka number 28, he expanded further, talking about charity, dravya yajna, engaging in austerity, tapo yajna, yoga yajna, sitting in a place and establishing oneself in deep meditation. Swadhyaya, which is now common in the present age because it is comparatively simpler. That is, studying Vedas, studying Shastra, studying Puranas, Veda Parayana, etc., etc. Jnana Yajna. Swadhyaya, Jnana Yajna, he puts them together. Swadhyaya should ultimately lead to Jnana, that is, Atma Jnana. Atma, Anatma, Viveka should flourish under Swadhyaya. And that Jnana Yajna can also be taught to others. That also can be a part of Jnana Yajna. We came up to that. Then he goes on further on details of Pranayajnas. Apane juhvati pranam prane panam tatha pare pranapana gati ruddha pranayama parayanaha. Apare, some others. Earlier he mentioned Indriya karmas, prana karmas, a few. Then he mentioned some other dravya yajna, tapo yajna, yoga yajna, sadhyaya, jnana yajna, etc. There are some others who follow a different method. That is purely pranayama. Pranayama parayanaha. Pranayama is controlling the breath. The incoming breath, the outgoing breath. There are two lines of breath. Incoming breath is called prana in yoga language. That is called purakam. It is filling the lungs, so it is purakam. The outgoing breath is called apana. It is called rechakam, outgoing breath. And pranayama is to controlling both. Neither you allow the breath to go in, nor you allow the breath to go out. You keep the breath inside you. That is pranayama kumbhakam, controlling the breath. Pranayama parayanaha, those who are following this path of controlling the breath. Pranapana gati ruddha, by controlling, by stopping the gati, the course of prana and apana. The vayu which goes inside, the breath which goes outside, both are stopped. And stopping prana is what, for what purpose? Is for concentrating the mind, because our rishis have found that pranayama is a very efficient method for making the mind concentrate, making the mind focus. Even if you observe the prana, they say mind gets focused. Many yogis have testified to this. Shastras testify to this. And in course of time, the mind will get so much focused that you will forget about pranayama. Your mind will be focused on your Ishta Devata. So he says, in this process, what they do is, apane juhpati pranam, prane apanam tatha. It is because he has been using the analogy of yajna since beginning, if you remember. Everything started Brahmatmanam Brahmahavihi. From there we started. All are connected with the process of conducting a yajna. If there is a fire, there is a ahuti, there is yajamana, there are enabling materials, 4 items he mentioned. So here, what is the ahuti which is being given? Apane juhvati pranam. Prana is the ahuti given in the fire of apana. Similarly, some people, the same people, prane apanam juhvati. They offer the ahuti of apana in prana, which means both are stopped. Offering ahuti means we don't have that. After you have offered ahuti, that material is not with you. That is the meaning of offering ahuti, isn't it? You are in fact saying, Indra Edan Namama, this is for Indra, not mine. And then it is gone to Indra. Similarly, once you offer prana, prana is not with you. Once you offer apana, apana is not with you, which means that you have stopped the flow of breath. So that he is putting in a very poetical way, continuing with the same analogy of Agni. अपरे नियताहाराः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति सर्वेप्येते यज्ञविदो यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः. Some others. Niyata aharaha, they control their food intake, because that is very important for any activities, any spiritual activity. More so for a man who is doing pranaya, because we are talking about prana, control of prana. Control of prana is going with Neta aharaha, control of food intake. Pranan praneshu juhvati. Now first he said, prana is being offered in apana. Then he said apana is being offered in prana, which we understood as controlling both, not having both in your normal course. Now, what is this? Pranan pranaya juhvati. Prana is being offered in prana, which means, which our Adi Shankara explains, prana is not one. Prana has got many subdivisions. Prana vayu bhedan praneshu eva juhvati. Yasya yasya vayoho jayaha kriyate. Itaran vayu bhedan tasmin tasmin juhvati. Prana itself, the air which we intake, the breath which we intake, which goes inside, performs different functions. That is why there are pancha pranas, isn't it? Prana, apana, vyana, udana. In fact, there are 5 more. Those 5 are not so important, so we talk about 5. So, there are different functions which are being performed by this incoming breath once it goes inside body. So, those also have to be regulated because the incoming breath has been stopped. So, you have to regulate all the prana activities. There are yogic methods. These are all part of Hatha Yoga. There are yogic methods where you can get success in controlling those flows of breath in various parts of the body. And the moment you start doing one by one, you are succeeding. That is what he is saying, pranan, pranayashu juhvati. Vayu bhedan, different types of vayu, pranayashu eva juhvati. He offers in the fire of prana itself. That means what? That means all those are activities are under control now. Yasya yasya vayoho jayaha kriyate. Whichever vayu you are succeeding in conquering, itaran vayu bhedan tasmin tasmin juhvati. The other aspects of vayu you start offering as ahuti. And this is a poetic way of, he is continuing with the same poetic way of saying it, which means you are controlling all the aspects of vayu. Te tatra pravishtaha iva bhavanti. That is why he said iva. It is as if they are being offered into the fire. So, sarvepyete yajnavidaha. Now he mentioned various, isn't it? Sarvani Indriya Karmani he started, and even before that he started saying, giving some ideas about Indriyas and Vishayas and all that. Now he's summarizing, he's referring to all of them. All these people who are following different methods of regulating their, let us say, Indriyas, Indriya karmas and prana karmas, because basically they can be classed into these two. So all of them, yajna vidaha, they know how to perform yajna. Not the normal yajna done in fire. This fire is different, this yajna is different. So they know this. They have acquired expertise in this particular field. Sarvepi ete yajna vidaha, yajna kshapita kalmashaha. By performing this yajna repeatedly, they have removed all their sins. All their sins are removed by sincere performance of the spiritual practice. So this sort of summarizes that all of them are very serious about attaining jnana. We are in the process of attaining jnana using karma as the means. And karma itself, now he is explaining various methods of using karma for attaining that jnana. We started with that. He is going into details of that. अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे प्राणापानगतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे नियताहाराः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति सर्वेऽप्येते यज्ञविदो यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः. यज्ञशिष्ट अमृतभुजो यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनम् आयं लोकोऽस्त्य यज्ञस्य कुतोऽन्यः कुरु सत्तम. Now he is continuing with the analogy of normal yajna. A yajamana who performs a normal yajna, he performs the yajna very sincerely, with great shraddha, with great faith. And then yajna means offerings, isn't it? Yajna's essential feature is offerings, isn't it? Offerings in Agni. Having offered, whatever is balance left behind, he consumes that. Huta Shayasham, as they say, even in our normal homas which we perform at home. Huta Shayasham means what is balance after having offered as homa, in the homa. So that is Yajna Shishtam. Whatever is balance after offering, that is Amrita. That has the power of Amrita. Because that yajna has been performed. Now, we are not talking about the normal fire offering. We are talking about all the yajnas, which he has mentioned, Dravya yajnas, Tapo yajnas, etc. All prana yajnas. All the yajnas have one common aim of attaining jnana. Attaining jnana is Amrita, isn't it? So, this is the process of attaining jnana. And yajna shishta amritam. Now, what is shishta here in this case? In the case of normal yajna, we understand there is a balance after having offered. What is the yajna system here? Yajna system here is the amritam itself, that is the experience. The experience of Parabrahman, Brahmanandam. That Brahmanandam you start experiencing by following this process. That is amritam. Yajna shishta amrita bhujaha. Those who are enjoying this amrita, which is the balance after offering in the yajna process, sanatanam brahma yanti. They attain the eternal Brahma. They attain the eternal Parabrahman. They don't come back to the samsara, punaravarti. That punaravarti coming repeatedly, that is now not there for them. Now here, Adi Shankara adds the rider, yanti brahma sanatanam mumukshavaha chet, he says. That is, if you are doing all this, dravya yajna, tapo yajna, etc., for a different purpose, if you are not really serious about moksha, then naturally it is not amrita, isn't it? The purpose defines the quality of your experience. So the experience is amrita only when the purpose was attaining jnana and moksha. So mumukshavaha chet, if you are a mumukshu, if you are a aspirant after moksha, then yanti brahma sanatanam. Nayam lokosti ayajnasya kutonyah kuru sattama. Hey Kuru Sattama, hey best among Kurus, Arjuna. Na ayam lokaha ayajnasya asti. Ayajnasya, one who does not perform yajnas, forget about moksha and all that. Even this world is not for him. Ayam lokaha na asti. Even this world is not for one who does not perform yajnas. Yajnas which were described in the previous sloka. Any one of the, he has given different methods. He has given different methods. In fact, there are more which he is going to mention in the next sloka. Evam Bahuvidha Yajna, he says. There are many which he has not mentioned. So if you follow even one of them, at least you will make some progress. But if you are not following any of them, you are a ayajna. And for you, even this world is not for you. Means what? The worldly benefits, the benefits of living in this world as a human being, you are deprived of. That is the meaning. Doesn't mean that you are not enjoying the normal mundane pleasures. In fact, mundane pleasures are not what you are looking for. So he says, Mayam lokosti ayajnasya kutonyaha. Then what to talk about the other world? When this world itself is not for you, where is the question of talking about the other world? He has put it as a question. Kalatikrama apekshaya iti samarthyat gamyate. That yanti brahma sanatanam. He is qualifying our Adi Shankara. It doesn't mean you will attain Parabrahma in one day by following these methods. Kala atikrame apekshaya, in course of time. How do you, where is it stated? It is in course. It is samarthyat gamyate. From the context you should understand. Because you know very well by doing these things you cannot attain moksha in one day, you cannot attain jnana in one day. He says from the context, samarthyat. Then, evam bahuvidha yajna vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan vidhitan sarvan evam jnatva vimokshase. Evam, in this manner, bahuvidha yajna brahmano mukhe vitata. Bahuvidha yajna, many types of yajna. I have listed only a few, Bhagavan says. There are many more which are described vitata. Brahmano mukhe, in the mouth of Brahma, means Vedas. Brahma is another name for Vedas. In the mouth of Vedas means in the text of Vedas. Vedas describe many more yajnas other than what we have covered. Karmajan, Vidhitan, Sarvan. Understand that all of them are born of karma. Everyone involves some karma. We are still in the Karma Yoga stage. We are not talking about jnanis, or born jnanis like Sanaka, who are following the Jnana Yoga. They are not talking about that. He is making it clear. All these methods are born out of karma. They are having their pivot on karma. Karmajan, Vidhi, Tan, Sarvan, all of them. Evam Yatva Vimokshasi. Knowing this, you will get moksha, he says. By knowing that all these are born out of karma, you will get moksha. How is it? By knowing this, how can anyone get moksha? He is explaining that. Shankara explained that. Knowing this means, what is knowing it means? He is explaining it in fair amount of detail. He says, Karmajan, Kayika, Vachika, Manasa, Karmodbhavan, Vidhi. These karmas are not just physical karmas. They can be mental, they can be verbal, and they can be bodily. Anatmajan, they are not really Atma. All these activities, the physical or mental or verbal activity, themselves do not lead to jnana. They are not part of jnana. They are all anatma. You have to classify something as atma, something as anatma. Pertaining to atma, pertaining to anatma, all of them will go under the class of anatma. That is why he says karmajan. They are all jada. They are all anatma. Hirvyaparaha hi atma. Atma is above all this, free from karma, free from the pure chaitanya. Ataha evam yatva vimokshase ashubhat. So Karmajan has got the special meaning. Knowing like this interpretation, you will get moksha. Namad vyaparaha yete nirvyaparaha aham udasinaha iti evam yatva. All these karmas which are being done by me, which are listed so far, they are not mine. That first you must make sure, you must understand that. Namadhyaparaha yete, they are not mine. Nirvyaparaha aham, I am free from vyaparas, I am free from karmas, I am above karmas. Udasinaha, I am indifferent to karmas. Asmat samyak darshanat mokshase ashubhat. From this correct perception, samyak darshana, right perception, you will get freedom. Vimokshate, he says. Moksha is freedom. Freedom from what? Ashubhat, samsara bandhana. From the bondage of samsara, which is inauspicious. This is beautiful explanation by Shankara. And he is quoting from Aitareya Aranyakam also in this context. When he is mentioning this, when he is mentioning that various yajnas are described in Vedas, he is mentioning Aitareya Aranyakam, there this reference is there. यज्ञशिष्टामृतभुजो यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनं नायं लोकोऽस्य यज्ञस्य कुतोऽन्यः कुरु सत्तम एवं बहुविधा यज्ञा वितता ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विद्धितान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयात् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते. You should not lose sight of your goal. Goal is jnana. All these are steps. Don't lose that. That is the emphasis of this shloka. Shreyan dravyamayat yajnat jnana yajnaha parantapa. Hey parantapa, scorcher of foes. You are a great valorous warrior. But you should know this. Valor on the battlefield is not enough for knowing this. Dravyamayat yajnat jnana yajnaha shreya. Compared to Dravya Yajna, that is charity, giving away materials and tirtha, kshetras, etc., we saw that, which is recommended, which is one of the practices. In fact, that he mentioned at the first one. The man who is at the beginning of his practice will definitely do that. But in comparison with that, Jnana Yajna is definitely far superior, Shreyan. It will give us better advancement in the spiritual path. Jnana Yajna means going after jnana rather than only distribution of wealth, distribution of materials. Sarvam karma akhilam partha jnane parisamaapyate. Sarvam karma akhilam, hey partha, all the karmas has to end in jnana. Jnane parisamaapyate. All karmas have to end in jnana. This is the important message he wants to convey here. Don't give too much importance to karma. That is why he said, compared to Dravya Yajna, Jnana Yajna is superior. Why Jnana Yajna is superior? He is saying it. Because Jnana is our aim. Karma has to end in Jnana, has to terminate in Jnana. So, Jnana Yajna is better because you are going after Jnana. How to get that Jnana? Now, before that, I want to go to Niti Shatakam, where there is a statement of praise of Vidya. One shloka says like this, Bhartrahari Niti Shatakam, we have been studying alongside. Bharturyati nagocharam kimapisham pushnati sarvatmana pyarthibhya pratipadyamana manisham vriddhim param gacchati. Kalpanteshvapi na prayati nidhanam vidyakhyamantardhanam. Yesham tan pratimana mujjata nripaha kastaistamam spardhate. Vidyakhyam antardhanam. Vidya is something which is inside you, a wealth which is inside you, which is not something, some material which is outside. And because it is inside you, harturyati na gocharam kimapisham pushnati sarvatmanapi. Harturyati na gocharam. Nobody can steal it. It is not an object which can be stolen because it is inside you. Sham pushnati sarvatma, kimapi sham pushnati sarvatmanapi. In all ways, sarvatmanapi. It gives you benefit. It gives you auspiciousness in some form or the other. Vidya. Arthibhyaha pratipadyamana manisham vriddhim param gacchati. If somebody comes to you praying for that jnana which you have, that vidya which you have, and if you give that vidya, does it get reduced? No, it gets increased on the other hand. The more you share your vidya, the more it grows. No other wealth you can say like that, isn't it? The more you give your wealth, you are going to lose that. But here it is not so. Anisham, always. Always it keeps on growing. Kalpanteshvapi na prayati nidhanam. Even at the end of kalpa, It is not going to die. It is not going to go away. Vidya is always with you. So such people, yesham vidyaksham antardhanam. Those who have this kind of vidya wealth, he is advising kings, because Bhartrihari himself was a king. Later he became a jnani. So he is advising kings, be careful when you are dealing with such jnanis. Tan prati manamujjata. Don't show your pride to them. I am a king. Don't show it to them. Kasteistamam spardhate. Who can compete with them? He is ending it with a question. Who can compete with those jnanis? So it is in praise of jnana. There is another one which is in praise of jnana. Vidyanam rupam adhikam prachanna guptam dhanam. This is also from same Niti Shatakam. Vidya bhogakari yasha sukhakari vidya gurunam guruhu. Vidya bandhujano videsha gamane vidya param daivatam. Vidya rajasu pujyate nahi dhanam vidya vihina pasuhu. Vidyanama narasya rupam adhikam. Vidya adds to the personality of the man. Adhikam rupam. Prachanna guptam dhanam. It is wealth which is hidden. It is not seen outside. Vidya bhogakari yasha sukhakari. Vidya brings you mundane pleasures. It gives you wealth. It gives you fame. All that. Vidya gurunam guruhu. There are so many teachers for us. 26 teachers are being listed by Avadhuta in Srimad Bhagavatam. Even ordinary experiences which we come across every day. So there are several gurus where we keep learning. Life is a process of continuous learning. So there are so many gurus. Out of all those gurus, who is the best guru? Vidya is the best guru. Vidya bandhu jano videsha gamane vidya param devatam vidya para devata, both are said. Vidya bandhu jano videsha gamane. When you go outside your country, when you travel, there is nobody with you. There is only one bandhu, one friend, one relative. That is Vidya. Vidya para devata. It is the supreme devata. It is blessing you all the time, helping you all the time, assisting you all the time. Vidya rajasu pujyate. It is there whichever kingdom you go, because in those days kingdoms, we were traveling from one kingdom to another. Whichever kingdom you go, you are always worshipped. Pujyate. Vidya is worshipped. Your Vidya is honored. Nahi dhanam vidya vihena pashuhu. Nahi dhanam pujyate. Your wealth is not going to be honored. Your Vidya will be honored. Vidya vihenaha pashuhu. Finally, he concludes saying, one who does not have this glorious Vidya is equal to an animal, pashuhu. Now, how to get this jnana? Next shloka is very important, very celebrated shloka, very often quoted by various scholars. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnanena tattvadarshinaha. Tat vidhi, that jnana you should understand. Get from whom? From a guru. How to get from a guru? Pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Three steps are there for acquiring jnana from a guru. First, you should prostrate. Pranipata is prostration, falling down on the ground. That is pranipata. Prostrate to him. Why prostrate? To show your humility, that you have not come with an attitude of arrogance and pride. You have come with an attitude of humility. You want to get jnana from the Guru. Guru possesses that jnana, and you are in need of that jnana. A needy man going to a man who is possessing the wealth, that should be your approach. Pariprashnena, not simply listening to what he says, because you are in the process of acquiring jnana. Jnana cannot be acquired in one go. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. There are 3 steps in acquiring jnana, where Upanishads have described this again and again. Shravanam is the first state, listening. Listen to what the Guru teaches you. Then Mananam. You go home and start mulling over it. You start cogitating. You start thinking about it again and again. Then once you start thinking about it seriously, then you may get some doubts. You may need some clarifications. You go to him. He will give you those clarifications. Then you come back. Go over those clarifications. This process is manana. Repeatedly thinking, meditating, cogitating on this. Having done that, you come to a firm conclusion. No more doubts now. I am firm. I have got the jnana. Whatever Guru has got, I have also got the same. I am same as Guru in respect of the jnana. That is nididhyasana, that state when you have acquired jnana in full. There is no scope for doubt. That is nididhyasana. So there is a state of manana in between Shravana and nididhyasana. Manana is there where pariprashna is a part of that. Pariprashna is questioning the Guru in a proper manner. That is the word pari is used. Not simply to show off your knowledge, not simply to test his knowledge, but to get the actual correct knowledge. That is pariprashna, that attitude. And he is giving, our Adi Shankara, he is giving examples. Katham bandhaha, katham mokshaha, ka vidya, ka avidya. These are the type of questions which Shishya asks. In fact, if you go through Viveka Chodamani, all this is explained in great detail. How the Guru starts teaching, how the Shishya goes to him with doubts. All that is very nicely explained in great detail. So, maybe the teacher used these words, bandha, moksha, vidya, avidya. Now, he has not explained in detail. So, he is questioning, katham bandha, how this bondage happens. Katham moksha, how to get this freedom. Ka vidya, what is this vidya which you mentioned? Ka cha avidya, what is that avidya which you mentioned? Avidya is maya, to which we are all subject. So, all that. Sevaya, then having questioned him, having got all your doubts cleared, you should go and serve the Guru. This is very important. In Gurukula, in those days, people used to spend all their time, 24 hours with the Guru, eating in the Gurukulam, learning in the Gurukulam, doing whatever Guru has asked you to do. That used to be the lifestyle, isn't it? So serving the Guru is the most important, because by serving the Guru, your humility gets strengthened and your appetite for knowledge increases. This is what Shastras have told us. So he is emphasizing 3 aspects. One is pranipata, prostration. Pariprashna, asking the right questions in the right attitude, with the right attitude. Then serving the Guru, physically and in all respects. In fact, there are many, many stories in Upanishads of how Shishyas have served their Gurus. Upanishads, as you know, are talking only about Brahmajnana, nothing else. So those Shishyas who went to Gurus for Brahmajnana, how much seva they did, how many tests Guru has subjected them. Out of it will look like a torture sometimes. It will look like something which is beyond our normal understanding. Sometimes there are stories like that. The teacher puts you through all this. He knows to whom he should put through which test. He is not putting this everyone through this test. No, that's not what the Upanishad tells us. Out of so many students, one student he chooses for a particular treatment. So that is all part of seva. Through that method only you get jnana. If you do all this, te jnaninaha tattvadarshanaha jnanam upadekshandi. Those jnanis, those who have perceived tattva, the reality, they will teach you the jnana if you follow this process. That is the process and they will teach you the jnana. Why tattva darshanaha? Jnaninaha is enough, isn't it? They are possessing jnana. They will give you jnana. One who possesses jnana can give you jnana. One who possesses wealth can give you wealth. What is the tattva darshanaha? Now, Adi Shankara, as usual, gives a beautiful explanation. ज्ञानवन्तोऽपि केचित् यथावत् तत्त्वदर्शनशीलाः. Even among jnanis, not all are of the same caliber. Some have seen reality in full. Some have not seen reality. Maybe they have seen it in part. Ataha vishinashti tattvadarshanaha iti. That is why there is a clause of tattvadarshanaha. Ye samyak darshanaha taihi upadishtam jnanam karyakshamam bhavati. Those who are tattvadarshi, samyak darshanaha, those who have got the right perception, right knowledge, the jnana which is taught by them, karyakshamam bhavati, it is good for you, it is efficient, it is effective. Na yatarat iti bhagavataha matam, not otherwise. This is the view of Bhagavan. That is what Shankara nicely says this. In Upanishad, as I said, sometimes there is the mention of students going to a teacher and the teacher taking them to another teacher. There are beautiful stories like this. 5 great students went to a teacher and who was well known. Great jnani he was. And they went and asked him questions. This is what we want to know about Brahma Jnana. He said, yes, but there is a better person than me. I will take you to him. Then he went along with them, he took them, and there they were taught Brahma Jnana. Like this, there are many stories which shows to us the importance of this process of acquiring jnana. Now, there are some subhashitas which I wanted to mention here. Yadrishi bhavana yasya siddhir bhavati tadrishi. Whatever is your approach, mental approach, that will determine the siddhi of your success. If you go with proper humility, like he said, pranipata, pariprashna, seva, if you go with proper approach, you will get siddhi. Adrishi bhavanayasya siddhir bhavati tadrishi. Vesho bhasha tadacharaha rakshaniyam idam trayam. Another Subhashita says, these 3 should be properly protected. Now, in fact, our Acharya Swamiji is giving a lot of emphasis, stressing these 3 frequently. These Sampradaya schools for girls have been started, and so many other measures have been undertaken by our Srimatham for promoting these 3. Veshaha, Bhasha, Tadacharaha. Veshaha is your dress, how you dress yourself, what is your appearance. Bhasha, the way you speak, what is your speech. Tadacharaha, good conduct. Rakshaniyam idam trayam. When you go to the Guru, in that context, we are now going to the Guru for jnana, isn't it? In that context, these 3 are important. Don't think, what does it matter? Which dress I wear? Which way I speak? What does it matter? What does it matter? That is the present day's education system, isn't it? There is no Vesha, there is no Bhasha, there is no Sadachara. That is why we have such decline in the quality of education. Vesho Bhasha Tadacharaha Rakshaniyam idam trayam. All these 3 should be protected. Now there is another Niti Shatakam sloka also in the same context, which is, since you are going through all the slokas of Niti Shatakam, you are going through the appropriate ones in the context. Now there is a shloka which talks about the difficulty of seva. He said, na seva, isn't it? Bhagavan said, pariprashnena sevaya. Seva, how you should practice. It's not easy. Those who have done seva to a guru, no. We have not done so, we don't know. So, this shloka talks about the difficulty, this Niti Shatakam shloka. मौनान्मूकः प्रवचनपटुर्वातलो जल्पको वा धृष्टः पार्श्वे वसति च सदा दूरतश्च तथा दूरतश्च प्रमादी शान्त्याभिरुर्यदि न सहते प्रायशो नाभिजातः सेवाधर्मः परमगहनो योगिनामप्यगम्यः सेवाधर्मः परमगहनः this seva dharma, this process of service, paramagahana, extremely difficult. Yoginam api agamyaha, even yogis will find it difficult. And how it is difficult, he is explaining. Mauna anmokaha, if the shishya remains silent in front of the guru, he will term him as a dumb fellow. This fellow is dumb. Pravachana patuhu, bhatalo, jalpako va. If he keeps on talking, he keeps on questioning, he keeps on talking, then he will be termed as Vadalo, Jalpako. Jalpaka means a fellow who talks unnecessarily, blabbering. Vatalaha is a man who talks too much. He may be a flatterer. Dhritta parshve bhavati cha tatha duratascha pramadi parshve bhavati. If he is always near the Guru, he will be termed as drishtaha. That means he is not sufficiently humble. He is audacious. Because he should maintain sufficient distance from the Guru. It's also mentioned in Shastras. When Guru and you walk together, you should maintain a certain distance from the Guru and you should go at his back, not by his side, not in his front. Even this is mentioned in Manusmriti. Drishta parshve bhavati cha tatha duratascha pramadi sada duratascha pragalbhaha. Another verse. If you are always at a great distance, you will be known as negligent. If you are very close, you are audacious. If you are very distant, you are negligent. Shantya bhiruhu. If you are by nature forbearing, patience. You have a very patient approach. Then you will be termed as a bhiru, a full man full of fear. You have not overcome your fear. Yedina rahate prayasho nabhijataha. If you cannot tolerate misery, because Guru will subject you, I have told you, a lot of tests he puts you through. He wants to test your forbearance. And if you cannot tolerate those miseries, prayasho nadhijataha, he will term you as not of a good kula. You are not born of a good lineage. You don't have a proper upbringing. So this is how you will be termed. This is seva dharmaha paramagahanaha yoginamapi agamyaha. In fact, there is a famous Guru Paduka Stotram. Even the Guru's Padukas can give you jnana. Forget about Guru himself giving you jnana. When Adi Shankara went to his Guru, Govinda Bhagavad Pada, and Govinda Bhagavad Pada was in dhyana inside his cave, Adi Shankara saw his footwear outside, Padukas, and he broke out in this Guru Paduka Stotram. That is how we got this. There, one of the shlokas is this. There are 5 slokas. Kamadi tarpa vrajagaruda abhyam viveka vairagya nidhi pradabhyam bodha pradabhyam druta mokshadabhyam namo namah Shri Guru Padukabhyam. Guru's Padukas, how are they? Kamadi tarpa vrajagaruda. They are Garudas, always flying in search of snakes of kamas. Guru Padukas are like Garudas, always flying in search of Garuda goes after snakes. Kama is Sarpa. Here we are talking about the Sarpa, which is Kama, which is desire. Because we have been talking all along about Kamanasha, isn't it, in Bhagavad Gita? Viveka Vairagya Nidhi Pradabhyam. They give you a great wealth. What wealth? Viveka and Vairagya. Because these are the 2 starting points in Jnana Marga. Without cultivating these 2, you are nowhere going to progress. Viveka is understanding what is Atma, what is Anatma, discrimination, which is what we have been seeing all along in our Karma Yoga. You keep this in mind. Don't get into the jada aspect of the karma. Just now we saw that. That is this viveka. Vairagya. So once you develop viveka, once you discriminate what is atma, what is anatma, naturally in course of time you will maintain a distance, you will maintain detachment from anatma, and you will get attached to atma. So the detachment is vairagya. Bodha pradabhyam, they can give you even jnana. Dhruta mokshadabhyam, what follows jnana is moksha. Dhruta mokshada, quickly they can give you moksha. That is the capacity of Guru Padukas. Forget about Guru. Guru Padukas themselves. श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयात् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनः तत्त्वदर्शिनः यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् एवं यास्यति पाण्डव येन भूतान्यशेषेण Drakshasatman yathomayi. So what is this jnana? What happens when you get this jnana? Bhagavan explains that. He said, no, you have to go and attain jnana from the Guru through pranipata, pariprashna and seva. They will teach you jnana. So what does this jnana do? What is the measure by which I know I have got the jnana? Yat jnatva na punarmoham evam yasyati Pandava. Hey Pandava, once you have got this knowledge, na punaha moham evam yasyasi, you will never get this kind of delusion. Which kind of delusion? Evam, he says. The way now you have. What is this delusion he is talking? Because Arjuna was subjected to moha only, isn't it? This whole Bhagavad Gita started from his moha, isn't it? From his delusion. He thought that he is the killer. That was the first delusion. When Bhagavan asked him to engage in warfare, how can I kill my gurus? That was his question. That is moha, that is delusion. Evam, so this kind of delusion which you have now, you will not have this in future once you have got the jnana. Yad jnatva na punarmoham evam yasyati Pandava. Yena bhutanyasheshena dakshasya atmanyato mayi. So once you have got this jnana, you will not get delusion again, number one. Number two, there is one more. Once you have got that jnana, asheshena bhutani drakshasi atmani. In your own atma, this is a very important thing, the characteristic of a jnani. In your own atma, inside you, you will find all the jivas, asheshena, without any balance. All the jivas of all the universe, all the jivas of all the brahmandas, you will see within yourself. What does it mean? There are crores of jivas. I will see crores of jivas in myself. It means I will not find any special distinction between me and the other jivas. All are pervaded by the same Paramatma. Same Paramatma is residing in me, same Paramatma is residing in others. So all are residing in me, I am residing in all others. There is no I and they. That is what he is saying. There is only one, that is Paramatma. Yena bhutan asheshena drakshasi atmani atha mayi. Also in me. If you think there is a Ishvara separately, then in that Ishvara also you will see all the jivas. All the jivas you will see in Ishvara. All the jivas you will see in yourself, Atmani, in your own Atma. This is the characteristic of a jnani. In fact, there is no need for a Ishvara for him. Once he has seen all the jivas in himself, there is no need for a Ishvara himself. He has identified himself with Paramatma. But in case you are still showing bhakti towards an external Ishvara, in that external Ishvara also you will see all the jivas. That means what? that Ishvara is no different from the Ishvara present in all the jivas. He is going to say that clearly in another sloka. Ishvara sarvabhutana hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. Bhagavan says in another sloka. Sarvabhutanam hriddeshe Ishvaraha tishtati. That means Ishvara is there in the hearts of all the jivas. So, that is why he is saying, Atha Mayi. So, Adi Shankara nicely he says, Yena jnanena bhutani asheshena brahmadini stamba paryantani drakshasi. All jivas, starting from Chaturmukha Brahma up to the lowest grass, all are same Paramatma. You will see all of them in yourself. Pratyagatmani. Atmani means Pratyagatmani. That means Atma inside you. Mat samsthani iti. They are all in me. That is your feeling. Atho api mayi vasudeve parameshware cha imani iti. Vasudeva Parameshwara, also in him, the same jivas exist. Kshetrajna Ishwarekatvam Sarvopanishad Prasiddham Takshasi iti arthaha. Because at the beginning, there is a separate Ishvara to whom we have to offer worship. That is the way. But the same Ishvara is also called Kshetrajna. Kshetra is the body and Kshetrajna is the Atma, residing in the Kshetra. So same Ishvara is the Atma. Atma is Ishvara. There are no two different entities. Kshetrajna Ishvara Ekatva. Sarvopanishad Prasiddham. This is established in all Upanishads. Prasiddham. This is the famous theory of all the Upanishads. Iti arthaha. That is the meaning. So, यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् एवं यास्यति पाण्डव येन भूतान्यशेषेण दक्षस्यात्मन्यथो मयि यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्व कर्माणि भस्म no I think I missed one अपि चेदसि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः Sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. Now he says, now all this is okay, whatever you are teaching me, it's fine. But all this is for good people. All this is for virtuous people. Those who have reached a certain stage. What about ordinary people who are poppies, sinners? What about them? Bhagavan gives the greatest assurance. There is no sinner who is excluded from this, whatever I have said. Can there be anything more sacred than this? It's the most famous statement, one of the most famous statements in Bhagavad Gita. Api chedati papebhyaha sarvebhyaha papakrittamaha sarvebhyaha papebhyaha. All papis, let us put them together, all sinners. And you are the worst of them. Papakrittamaha. Papakriti, Papakrittaraha, Papakrittamaha. This is the highest level of Papakriti, highest sinner. Api chayat asi, even if you are. Asi is directly addressed to Arjuna, directly addressed to all of us. Even if you are the greatest sinner among all sinners, Sarvam jnana pravenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. Sarvam vrijinam. Jnana pravena eva. All your sins, all, sarvam, there is no exception to them. Don't think that I have committed that sin, I have committed this sin, how am I covered under your class? Don't ask all those questions. Sarvam vrijinam, all sins. Jnana pravena eva. By the one and only boat of jnana. Plava is the boat. Santarishyati. If you imagine your sins as an ocean, as a water body, you will cross that water body, cross that ocean, cross that lake by a boat. What is that boat? Boat is jnana. Sarvam jnana pravena eva. Only by means of that jnana. This is most important in Advaita. There is no place for any other succor other than jnana. The only succor is jnana. That is why we are spending so much time on this Karma Yoga. Because Karma Yoga is the means for attaining the jnana. Karma Yoga is not an end in itself. But since we are in such a low stage, we are not jnanis like Tanaka and others. So we have to go through this process. So Bhagavan is coming down to our level and helping us with so many details. Sarvam jnana pravenaiva vrijinam santarishyati. Dharmo api yaha mumukshoho papam uchyate. Now papa we understand normally what is papa. Whatever is described as sin in Shastras, whatever is described as punya in Shastras is good. We understand like that. But if you are in Jnana Marga, if your aim is moksha, even punya is papa. Even punya is a bondage for you. Because to experience that punya, you have to go to Surgaloka and spend time, or you have to come back to earth and become a king, become a wealthy man. You have to experience that punya. There is no escape from experience of all your karma. We have seen that before. The only way you can burn all your karmas, including punyas, is through jnana. We have seen that before. Even punyas have to be got rid of. This is a concept in Shastra which we have to understand clearly. Punya, now we are all after punya, yes, because we want to get rid of our papa. Our papa load is so high. So by adding more and more punya, we want to reduce the load of papa. That is definitely a good approach. But that is the beginner's approach. Now, if you are aiming to be a jnani, you have to get rid of both punya and papa. That is why sarvam vrijinam. That vrijinam normally means papa, but here it also includes all punya. Dharma api yaha mukshoho papam uchyate. Bhagavan Adi Shankara makes it clear. अपि चेदसि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि. We stop now. I think there are only few more slokas in this chapter. 36, 42, another 6 slokas are there. Tomorrow anyway, we are meeting tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock. Sunday morning, 7 AM IST, we are meeting. We hope to cover these slokas tomorrow morning. Any questions?
Those who have questions, please unmute yourself, turn on your video and ask questions. Any questions, anybody? Please unmute and turn on your video before asking questions. Any questions? No questions, Guruji.
No questions. Okay. We close for the day. We meet again tomorrow, 7 AM IST, tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव. गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनम गोविंद गोविंद. श्री राजराजेश्वर्यै जय जय.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.